Hey guys, Shay here from Fool on a Journey, and today I'm doing a review of the Ritual Abuse Tarot. My main motivation for doing this review is actually that there are so few of them. I don't know if I'm the only person that does this, but I really enjoy watching reviews of decks that I already have. If I haven't been using it for a while, it kind of gets me excited about it, and I realized when I was looking for them today that there is literally only one other than this one. So I will actually link that one below. It's by Cape Cod Creatures. She does an excellent review. There's nothing wrong with it, but if you're somebody that likes variety, here is another one. When I purchased this one, I actually couldn't get my hands on this. I tried to look for about 2 years before I finally found it on eBay. And I actually think what prompted that person to go ahead and sell it on eBay is it wasn't quite the collector's item that it used to be, because you can now purchase them from printerstudio.com. I think they're only about $35 plus shipping, which is incredibly reasonable, and if you're interested, go for it. If you can't find the link to this particular tarot on Printer Studio, if you just Google Ritual Abuse Tarot, it will lead you to the link to its specific page through the Printer Studio site where you can purchase. I don't know for sure that it still comes with the tin, which is what it came from, which is what it came with if you purchased from Etsy. But this is what it came in. This was one of the Etsy original editions. But so it's in the tin. Comes with a little white book still. It was illustrated by Ryan Sheffield. He's very honest in his little white book in saying that he's not super huge into tarot. It was more about sort of this ironic nod to satanic ritual abuse that was like the huge satanic panic that was going on in the late 80s and early 90s. That aside, the deck is awesome. It makes, the little white book super basic. I will go ahead and show you. That's the Four of Wands on the cover. So he does this little introduction where he's totally honest about it. If you want to read a couple of these, you can see they're super basic. Very average. There's a couple of the wands if you want to see some of those. It does give an upright and reversed if you read reversals. There's a couple of the cups. But, pretty basic and what you expect from a little white book, which is totally fine, because this is really why you want it. These right here. So I am going to go ahead and do a walkthrough, and I will say that in using them in readings, this is not a subtle, gentle hug of a deck, in my opinion. Mostly what I've been using this for is actually for creative writing block, or getting through creative writing blocks, that kind of stuff, because they're so extreme, so if you're writing something and you don't know how to get yourself out of a situation, obviously going to the extreme is a good way to go. So it's like, this is the Fool, but instead of him kind of being near the edge, he is falling over the edge completely. He's going down. Not that he seems too worried about it with his eyeball bundle on his little stick there. Anyways, so I will just sort of go through these. And again, you can just see in all the cards that it's just an extreme thing. So naming this the Ritual Abuse Tarot, like I said, was sort of a nod at the, satanic ritual abuse craze that was going on that was actually total crap. But it was also, the illustration is meant to be a nod at Stephen Gamble, who illustrated the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books, which I recognized immediately. I wasn't a huge fan of the books, but I was always a big fan of creepy, and I had read every book that our library had when I was a kid on urban legends and scary stories. So I definitely read it, and I was familiar with the artwork. That hermit is so cool. But again, you just get the feeling of going to the extreme. The Wheel of Fortune kind of talks a lot about, when things are changing and turning and you can't help it. Sometimes things are out of your power. Sometimes you're at the top, sometimes you're at the bottom. That's the whole purpose of the wheel. This guy is tied to the wheel. He has no control whatsoever, which is a much more extreme take on it than you would normally see. Which, the Scales of Justice has a severed head on it. You know, so just, it's all very extreme. If you're somebody who reads professionally, I would make sure that you know your client well before you pull this one out to read with it. Because it might offend people. Just something to be aware of. Oh, that devil is wicked. Love it. And again, it's just that extreme, you know, in the tower, a lot of times you can really look at a tower and think, all right, we're taking this building down so we can start again. We'll have a better foundation. We're just going to rip it all down and start over. That is not what this card feels like to me personally. I look at this and I think it's over. You are done. You are hanging out of a window. It is just, whoo, whatever plans you had going that way, over, done. That moon is so awesome. Into the wands. The aces are amazing. It's all amazing. And there are, you can see, so there are 2 wands and the 2 of wands and so forth. But a lot of them are like in the negative space. Like he does a lot with the sort of lack of color kind of thing. So sometimes you have to look for them a little bit, but they all are there. That 10 of wands. Talk about trying to do too much. You burned yourself out, literally. The quartz are really freaky, which I enjoy. I mean, I think it's exciting. I feel like if you're the kind of person that's going to buy this deck, you're going to enjoy creepy court cards. That Queen of Wands is so cool. Ace of Swords. Yeah, the aces are really strong in this deck. And, you know, a lot of the imagery is sort of reminiscent of Rider-Waite. Just a little bit more dramatic. I love this 9 of Swords because to me in this one, it's not like nightmares are overwhelming you. It's like your nightmares are real. Whatever you're worried about, it's real. You should be worried. It's coming to get you. Page of Swords is freaking terrifying. I love it. Look at the Queen of Swords. So good. Ace of Cups. This is so fun to me. I immediately see this, and if you're the kind of person that sort of thinks of that 3 of Cups as sort of like, you know, the people that you want to celebrate with and the people that you're close to and want to be around, this is the same card, but it's like ride or die legit. Ride or die. We are going to the grave, all 3 of us together, in it to the end. And Pentacles. That is so creepy. Love it. So in the 8 of Pentacles, you know, when you're talking about perfecting your craft, he's perfecting his craft on a corpse. Love. If you like creepy stuff, this deck is definitely for you. That Queen of Pentacles is powerful. King of Pentacles. And real quick, here is the back. It's the Chaos Star. And it is technically reversible if you don't look too closely. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that notices things. And now I know the big white smudge is the bottom. Sorry if I just ruined that for anybody. But that is the Ritual Abuse Tarot. I highly recommend, again, I would state that if you're somebody who reads for other people, to make sure you know the person well enough to know that they would respond well to this deck. because it is definitely not for everyone. But as always, thanks for watching.